Hello and welcome back to the Test Kitchen. I'm Dr. Sam Graber. Thank you so much for joining us today because we are cooking one of my favorite low-carb versions of a soup, and it is Zuppa Toscana. So much like the Olive Garden has their Zuppa Toscana, we do ours without potatoes and we sub in cauliflower. Now before you tune out, give me the minute. Okay, it is going to be really good. It tastes just the same. The texture is the same, and it's much less on the carb or much lower on the carb zone. So it really doesn't spike your blood sugar, so you can have more. All right, so to get started, we're going to prep some veg. I'm going to start with the onion, and then we're going to do our cauliflower and then our kale. Now you can, of course, at your grocers these days, it seems like there's a lot of pre-prepared or already prepared items for you. So you can look in that fresh section at your grocer's produce aisle or produce section. I find that kind of happy and healthy and a lot quicker, but it's a little bit pricier. So we're going to go the economical way, and we buy our onions in bulk. We just chop them up ourselves. I don't know, something really satisfying about chopping your own veg. All right, so I'm gonna get that started here and start our pile for the compost area that we have outside. Okay. Sometimes onions, they behave and they comply, and other times they don't. This one's a little bit of a stinkler. So here we go. All right, I'm gonna cut this in half, and then we're gonna give ourselves a dice. So we want it a little bit bigger than, say, a little small size, but we want to know that we are eating onion. I don't know about you, but I like onion, and it has some really good health properties. Okay. So while you're just sitting here watching me chop up stuff and wondering, is she going to walk out with all the same number of fingers as she walked in? Yes, I will, I promise. This isn't always pretty, but I've been doing this for quite a while, and so far so good. But while you're doing that and you have a moment and you have some digits, would you please go ahead and give us a subscribe if you like checking people out as they cook and you want to help support our channel and let the YouTube algorithms know that you like what we're doing. And if you have any questions or suggestions, we've already got all our soups because this month of October we're doing soups. We're trying to do themes. So we've already got all of those in the hopper. But we are getting ready for November, and November is going to be all sorts of swaps that we can do for Thanksgiving. We're going to look at the lower carb versions, not always 100% the lower carb, because some things are really just worth all those good nature's carbs. So if you feel like there's something you would love to see us do low carb version, go ahead and put that down in the comments and we will take it into consideration. And while you're there, like and subscribe to our channel, please. All right, so here is our onion. Let me grab a little bowl. Today is the perfect soup weather day because it's actually a little cloudy out. We're up in the panhandle of Florida and often it's sunny. I know, boo-hoo, right? But it's hard to get in the soup mood when the weather is so darn nice. So it's kind of fun today. It feels very, I don't know, congruent. Feels like it's the right kind of weather. So now, let's see which one I'm going to do. I'm going to do the kale first. There are a couple different ways you can save time, not so much money, but definitely save time. If you want to get the already shredded or already chopped up kale that sometimes comes in a big bag, also in your produce section, that's a good time saver. But if you're wanting to save the money and you want to have some leftover veg for either your compost pile or for freezing and using for vegetable stock, or even just a thickener, or any kind of addition for fiber, then you can go ahead and get your own kale. You just get a big old bunch like this. You want to look for the robust ones where everything looks like it's kind of healthy, not like it's been broken to death. So here is a kale leaf in the wild. Well, not technically the wild, fresh out of the wild. So you'll see this big rib down the middle. This is the part we're going to cut out. And word to the wise, the not pre-washed already, oddly enough, it has sand, like it's sandy. You'll feel this stuff and go, So you're going to want to rinse it a couple times. That's why I'm going to do it first, because I'll rinse it, let it set, and then I'll do the cauliflower, and then I'll go back and rinse the kale again. So let me just show you the method to my madness. Some people rip this off, which is super satisfying. Others cut it off. I kind of like the ripping it off. And then we just take this rib out right there. And I'm just gonna put that in our compost pile. All right, so I'm gonna place this in here and I'm going to shred it, or kind of shred it up, pull it apart as I'm putting it in the colander. You want to have bite-sized pieces. Now this is like every kind of leafy green. It's going to get kind of softened when it's cooked, and it will shrink a bit. Not quite like a spinach. I mean, it's a great feat of physics with spinach, how it can shrink so much. So we're going to bring all that in there. And let's just pull this off the rib. There we go. It's a real healthy piece of kale. The way I know that is it's got a little give to it. It's fighting back. That's a good thing. All right. And let me just kind of go through and see any big pieces get by me first time. Hack them up. All right. So we're going to be looking for 3 cups of kale, and I should get that out of this one packet, but I have a second pack just in case. There we go. Now, if you don't like kale for some reason, maybe you want to try a different type of greens. I've not tried that because some of them are just a little more bitter than others. But if you're a big fan of the mustard greens or something like that, by all means, try it. Maybe even put a couple different types of greens in, because just like changing up our protein or getting variety of protein, I think a variety of greens is really good for us. And bonus points if it comes out of your own backyard. Still working on mine. No luck so far. All right, so I will be back in just a moment after I've pulled more of these off. All right, so back for that last one. We are definitely getting 3 cups out of this, but kind of like spinach. Sometimes it's like a packed cup, or if it's just in a loose kind of way. So I'm going to say this will be 3 cups packed. Okay, and I don't think you can go too much on the kale or spinach when it comes down to it. I am going to keep a little reserved on the side because I like to add a bit of fresh right when I go to eat it, just a little texture. And plus I think having it in cooked form as well as close to raw, again, I think it's just more bioavailable, and it's a different texture of the fiber, we'll call it. I'm kind of that school that thinks getting variety and having like carrots, let's say. If you have carrots, having some raw, having some roasted, having some pureed at times, just as a different way of getting that into your system. And plus, I think it helps promote your microbiome differently. So now I'm gonna take this and we're gonna put it over here and rinse it off really well, because remember, like I say, there's often that sand. I'll be right back. Okay, so while the kale is kind of settling a bit, I'm going to go in and hack up this cauliflower. You can buy it frozen, or you can also buy it already freshly kind of chopped up. When I can, I want to chop it up myself. Number one, super satisfying. But number two, then again, I get some items for our compost pile. Plus, I feel like it's a little bit more sanitary. Sometimes the chopped up, it's more susceptible potentially to bacteria, etc. Now, of course, we're going to wash it all, and I'm going to choose to wash this after I chop it up, and it's just a little more economical if you do it yourself, because I think there's something to being connected to your food. All right, and all this stuff. Now, if you do keep your vegetable, your remainders or your cuttings, I guess, from your vegetables, and you want to put those in soups later, just put all this into a container and freeze it. It's a great way to do it, or to use it for stock, creating either chicken stock or vegetable stock or beef stock. That's a great way to reuse or to firstly use some of these items. Okay, and we're going to hack this guy out, and I'll show you how to deconstruct a cauliflower. Okay. So you'll see here, we want to cut this part off, and I'm just going to start cutting around it, and then we'll have this little knob in the middle that we won't be needing. But I try to keep the chunks in a decent size, and then when you're cooking, I always learned you want to try to keep things about the same size so that they cook evenly. Okay, here we go. There's always a first one that comes loose. There we go. I'm not gonna eat these guys. This one. Okay. You'll see the stalks down in there, the big thick ones. So if you just kind of piece through those, it's a great way to get as much out of this. And then I usually chop up the middle part of the stalk and use as well, because I mean, if we're just eating it, it's all the good same stuff. Now we're getting here. Okay, put you to the side for a moment. So then now looking through here, I'm just going to chop this up a bit, get some of these bigger pieces out. Let me grab a bowl. Okay. So I don't want them to quite be this big, so we're going to cut that guy down and cut it again. All right, so I'm not going to make you sit here and watch me do all these. We want them about this size. So when I come back, hopefully I have a nice bowl full of them that size. Back in a few. All right, so we are back, just finishing up these last large florets. And we got a bunch of little stuff left over. Let's put that to the side. It becomes kind of just mush if you include those, but there's no problem with it. I mean, you get more fiber, a little thickening for the soup itself, all good stuff. And then wanted to show you what I do with more of the crown of the cauliflower. So this takes a while, but what you can do is you know, if you're someone who likes to meal prep, and which I'd highly recommend if you have the ability to do that. Ahead of time, you can just chop all these guys up, or again, you can buy them already cut up for you. However you do it, it's all good to me. So here's the top of this, the florets, the very, very tippy top, and you get this big hunk. And you can slice this all up and put it into the mix as well. I'm going to put that, slice it up a little bit and put it into our compost, because that's going to be good. I like to have a variety in my compost. Are you sensing a theme? A variety of good stuff for all the bacteria and all the little guys to be chewing on and spitting out and making good soil for me, because man, we live in the sandiest area and nothing grows in that except for weeds. But you know, that's called adaptation, and that's just what they do. All right, almost done here. And you can even just kind of pull these off. Another good time saver. That one's a little big. A little big. Perfect little guys. All right, I'll cut these last ones. Bada bing. Look at that, a nice big bowl of it. Perfect. And I like these areas, a little tender. And our last few. Now, one neat thing about cauliflower is very low carb and very high fiber. Even though it's white in color, it has a lot of really great minerals if it's grown in good soil. Back to the soil. It's hard to know when you're out there in the great wild of a grocery store, but if you are able to get to a farmer, like a farmer stand or a farmer's market, something that's close to you, and you can know your farmer and you can ask them how they amend their soil or how they grow their soil. The best kind is like a regenerative farm. You can get that, then good on you, go for that. It's worth the extra couple bucks. Plus you're keeping your dollars local, right? Isn't that what we're all about? All right, so I've heated up our pan here because we're gonna start boiling. We're gonna brown our meat. All right, back to this one. Okay, so we pre-freeze our ground beef in 2-pounders. So I'm gonna squeeze this baby in half and put a pound in here. So we're looking for a pound of Sausage, Italian sausage. We went for mild because I'm a wimp. And then we're looking for some sort of ground meat, whether it's ground beef, ground lamb, whatever you have. Ground turkey is fine. Just keep in mind if the fat content. All right, and as we've talked about before, make sure we take that paper off. Sometimes it doesn't come off easily, so make sure you get all the chunks. All right, there we go. I'm gonna let that work out a bit. Okay, so now we got this going. So I've got that on medium heat. I'm gonna turn it up just a bit. Keep doing that. All right, there we go. So I like to get this broken up a bit and then let it sit here and brown. It has enough fat in it. I didn't need to add any fat to it, but if it was super lean, maybe like a ground turkey, I might add a little fat. Or if we had ground venison that wasn't made with some pork fat mixed in, I might do that. Great. Let's let this go to work. Keep heating it up until you start to hear that sizzle. That's what I'm going by today. So we'll give that a moment to go to work and I'll be right back. All right, back to keep working on this browning. No need to rush it, just like everything with cooking. But we want to get this all browned first. We definitely don't want any of the pink because once this is cooked, or browned, we're going to put it into our slow cooker. This is also something, if you wanted to just make it all in one pot, you could use a big stock pot and you could cook it all from there. I do that sometimes too, but we were just feeling like using the crock pot because we've not done that lately. And again, it's fall weather. It feels crock potty. Like we have sweater weather, we have crock pot weather. Not as catchy, but it could catch on. Okay, let that keep going. All right, so we have the kale washed. I'm going to just use some paper towels and just dry it out a little bit. I find that it's better than just putting all that liquid into our soup. And then you can use the paper towel afterwards to clean your station. So don't feel like you're wasting it. No wasto. Okay, so here's our kale ready to roll. Now let's see. I do want to wash our cauliflower. So I think I'm gonna pour the kale out on here and then we'll grab that cauliflower and wash her up. So as you can see, we've got a good 3 cups. Like I'm gonna say my hand, it's about 1 cup. So if we were to do this in a compressed or packed fashion, I think we're right on target. All right, back with this. Alrighty, and back to this guy. So sometimes cooking, it's like boring, snore, nothing going on. And then of course, everything goes on at the same time. So always be ready and let your sniffer tell you what's going on in your ears. If you hear something boiling or you all of a sudden smell the yummy scent of whatever it is you're cooking, that tells you that it's starting to hit that point of being ready to take off the heat. So I'm gonna do that real shortly here. That's still a little bit of pink that I want to get out. Oops, let's just not throw that on the floor. That will make very happy dogs. I'm sure they wish I would. All right, so here is our washed cauliflower. And we're going to be putting these directly into the crock pot. So I'm just going to leave all this here for now. Okay. Crock pot is ready. I have it off at the moment. I'm going to put that onto low heat. All right, and word to the wise, if you are going to be leaving the house or if you're cooking this at your office for some reason, I would always cook it on low when you're not around because sometimes it might start boiling and you're just gonna end up overcooking it and then it becomes mushy. And that is no fun. I'm gonna turn that heat down. Since this is not hot yet, I'm gonna bring it over here and put my meat in. I'm just using a nice slotted spoon to keep those juices and the grease in the pan because we're going to use that for cooking our bacon. Whoop, he's going to put a bacon thing in there. We want to cook our onion and our garlic. But if we need some, we will put bacon grease in because we always have that at the ready. Here we go. Man, Bella is sitting right there like, come on, I dare you. Drop some. Come on. Honey, it will be hot. It will hurt your little boca. Okay, that looks good enough. So now we're gonna grab our onion and garlic and put this over here. Boom. This is why preparing a little bit ahead is super handy. Now, as you are familiar, if you've been with us before, and if you're not, the reason this looks like it was out of an ice cube tray is because it was. We bought a bunch of garlic and then we put it in the food processor. Hey, the food processor, and then made up our own little mince so that makes it so much easier every time you cook. And then now we'll put all our, this is probably a little more onion than the recipe calls for, but yeah, can't go wrong. And using the masher, if you didn't get all the pieces the right size, you can call this an onion cutter as well. What do you know? Multi-purpose tool. I'm gonna get these translucent. Let me switch over to the other cooking utensil. All right, let these guys go to work. So while I'm waiting for that, I'm going to portion out the stock. Now, we always have these left over in the fridge. There's nothing wrong with just blending your kinds. First, smell them. I already did that. They're fine. But then you're gonna put these in here. We need 3 cups total. Double check. 3 cups total. Yeah, look at that. 36, oh wait, 36 ounces. Oh my gosh, let me get out my math. All right, 36 ounces, 8, 30, carry the 1. All right, I know it's 8 ounces per cup. So we need pretty much 4 cups and a half a cup. That seems like an odd number. That's fine. We got about 2 cups. We'll call it good. 2 cups there. And then that should get us the rest of the way. All right. While I'm waiting for this, I'm going to season the beef a little bit. So I'm going to put some salt in. And when things say season to taste, that's just what it means. Like if you like things a little saltier, by all means. If you like to salt it when you're just about to eat it, or everyone in your household has a different need or desire, just wait to season it. Although I think it's important to season each stage. I'm going to add in some crushed red pepper flakes. This is a really nice addition here. I'm not going to measure it, but it's about yay much. That's what we usually like it at, and then everyone can add their own. Oh, and I have a little surprise I wanted to share with you all. If you have caught our other episode, I think the one was, let's see, oh, it was which one was this? Taco soup, that's right, I remembered earlier. Okay, the taco soup, so I was showing you how with the green onions, the scallions, you can cut it off at the end and then you can kind of replant this. I kept it in the water because it's only been a week, and of course I've changed out the water, but it shows you how this stuff can regrow. It's pretty cool, I hope you can see that. Then you've got all those fresh new roots. So now we could actually put that in some soil and have a whole new crop. Totally dig it. All right. And look at that. That was just enough time to get us translucent with these. Awesome. Okay, we're going to take that off the heat. As I have learned, this gets very hot. Over here. Okay. You can tell when your crock pot's starting to get warmed up, like the outer part will get a little hotter. So just be careful moving that around. These are all words of wisdom, because of course I have to learn things the hard way. I'm Irish. That's part of how we do things. So mix this all up over here and get ready to put in the rest of our goodies. I'm going to start with the cauliflower because that is the densest of these two. That is a good amount. I think I need to be able to show you the layers here. So this isn't hot yet. I'm going to show you here. So we're getting it about halfway full. So it's good I did not double this recipe. And as I said earlier, I'm going to use this as a measurement. It's one packed cup, right? All right. There are no police making sure that you measure it just right in your own kitchen. I mean, maybe there are in some people's kitchens. Should cook with a cop if you have one around. It'd be fun. All right, and we got one more. Okay. So now that definitely, as you can see, that makes it really, really full. That's probably better lighting. And I'm going to season the top with our salt again and pepper. All right, now I'm gonna get a little spicy, and I'm gonna choose to add one more very technical measurement of inside of a very tight palm, that amount on top. Okay, and now we're gonna add our liquid. Call it good. Okay, so here's part of that. Pour you on top. So that was 16 of our 36, right? Oh, we might be cutting it close. All right, we're gonna have to get out a new one. Okay, but I feel better. I don't know, there's something that just feels good about not wasting food. There we go, a little bit more. Pull that out of the closet here. I'm gonna choose beef stock. So it just seems like the right thing today with this. Even though I have on here chicken or vegetable, I say be creative. Use what you have. And if you can make your own, oh, by all means, do that. And here we go. Be sure to store that in your refrigerator though. Fabulous, y'all. Okay, make sure each of these little guys is tucked in tight. It's nice and sealed. And as I say, we're gonna do that on low, and we'll be back in 4 hours. I'm not gonna ask you to sit and wait. All right, welcome back. It's been like 4.5, 5 hours because it took a little bit longer than we anticipated. But now the Zuppa Toscana is ready. Let's taste it. Okay, got everybody here. All right, so in the recipe, there are 2 ways you can use it that you can add. You can make it dairy-free and not add the heavy cream, but the heavy cream is kind of nice because it makes this a nice creamy consistency. So I like to add it. So I'm gonna add just a smidge. And then let's see as we mix it up. Oh yeah, that's perfect. Now you could add a little more if you like. I'm gonna add a little more because I do like heavy cream. All right, then you get to do a shot when you're done. Muy bueno. All right, we have these low carb, or I guess they would call them keto, but as I've told you before, there's no such thing as a keto food. There's low carb food that might help propel you into ketosis or help you stay there. But anyway, we got these wonderful crackers that Tyler made earlier. Before we try that, let's get a little of our Zuppa Toscana with all of our yumminess. I can't believe I'm actually going to say this, but it could use a little more heat. So we're going to add a bit more of this, and then I will add some to the remainder of the soup. Now I'm not going to add a lot because I am a wimp, but I feel like it needs a little something, something. Okay, put that there. Now, he's over there like, I can't believe she's upset. Okay. That is it. And now we're going to put a little bit of this cracker in, because you know sometimes it's nice to have just a little something, a little extra toothy. So instead of bread, we're using our cracker. Apparently something exciting is happening outside. Yeah, I really like that. Sorry, I try to not talk with my mouth full, but it's kind of hard to just sit here sometimes and chew. But anyhow, I hope you enjoyed tonight's recipe. Feel free to like, subscribe, and by all means, opt into our recipe share, because when you do that, you're going to get all of these recipes in a very printer-friendly format, sent right to your inbox twice a week now. Okay? Thank you so much for being here. Until next time, take good care of yourself and each other. Bye for now.